everybody, this is Duncle Dylan, God Deus. Now, before we get to start anything, the Nappa thing, you know what I'm talking about, Nappa, the what if Deku was Nappa, due to, and it's not because of something stupid, don't jump to conclusion, but due to concerns and all that, I will not be continuing it right now, but I will attempt to try to do better on it in the near future. But right now, I'm not going to focus on it for good reasons, actually. But for now, we are actually going to also take a break from Izuku for a bit, giving him some breathing room and, typical shit. So, today, we are actually doing a little bit something different, something new. Well, not new, it's just I rarely actually do this. And no, it's not a Naruto D&D, because, let's be honest, the What If Naruto series has pretty much died out almost completely. Sure, there are still some Naruto fans out there, but they're not as popular. So today, we are actually going to do something a little bit new. Well, like I said, not new, but you'll get what I mean until I say it. What if Tanjiro was a minotaur? Yeah, you heard me right. A minotaur. And before you start fucking pulling your dick out and start fapping, no. Oh, the sister will not be a minotaur. And before you ask again, no. Oh, we're not gonna make it like some hot fucking anime character either. This is actually gonna be an actual mythological, literal fantasy history creature. An actual, real, live minotaur. Or not some hot buff chick, not something else, a real, actual, historic minotaur. You're all probably thinking in your head, what do you mean by real historic minotaur? I'm actually talking about like in Warhammer Fantasy. You've seen minotaurs in Warhammer Fantasy? Well, like that. That is what you'll be dealing with. So, I already know this is probably annoying a lot of people, but to be honest, I could give two shits right now. Or at all, actually, but still, we might as well just jump right into the gate. Because, oh boy, it's going to be one of those days. Now, I already know I'm going to hear is, wait a minute, how the fuck does Tanjiro become a minotaur? Well, I'll tell you, ladies and gentlemen, there are other ways to be a monster, especially since I'm trying to choose the perfect fucking picture. But let's just get straight into it. Tanjiro was pretty much, this is the aftermath of the whole incident with the demons attacking his home and all that shit. Your typical shit. It's stuff you would expect from the demons in Demon Slayer. So, let us move on as the person. Now, Tanjiro, it pretty much is dying. His sister had managed to actually slice him, so obviously he doesn't want to die. He's holding his hand up, grasping the hole that is actually in his chest. You heard me right. There is a hole in the chest of this big brute. And let's be honest, it ain't going so well for anyone. especially for Tanjjro. So Tanjjro hears a voice, and it is a deep, menacing voice. You can tell it's a deep, menacing voice because I'm voicing it.
Mortal, I will give you your strength and the power you need to defeat these weak demons. Rage, it will boil in your heart, and hatred will fuel your eyes. Fight well.
And so, Tanjiro goes through a transformation. Now, to describe Tanjiro's transformation is the polite way I should say it. Because it is not, I repeat, not an interesting way to die. It's pretty much fucked up. Oh, well, let me rephrase that. He's not dead, but he's in pain is the word I would say. Okay. Now, Tanjiro looks like has turned into pretty much a bulky minotaur. He's completely naked. He doesn't have the clothes that you saw in the picture before you clicked on this video. He doesn't have any weapons that he has yet. He still has to get those, or forge them, actually. Tanjiro has horns sticking out of his head, covered in blood because he was formed. His body starts changing, kind of similar to like a lycanthropy change from Underworld, except a lot more painful looking. He's a lot more bigger than anything. His body pretty much has gotten more bulk. And also another thing that you probably noticed, he's actually bigger than your typical local creature that you would see in this world. Everyone is so used to this, so that's better. Now, he wakes up, and this is when he would notice the wolves that are actually surrounding the corpse of his family. Now, mind you, here's what you need to know. He remembers everything, but his mindset has changed, because normally when you're thinking of minotaurs, you're not thinking, oh, they kept their personality. No. He has changed into a blood-curdling monster of a man. He's pretty much now has brown fur. He still has the features of the cow. And in case you're wondering what type of bull, what type of minotaur he pretty much became, for this one, I figured instead of your typical minotaur, I'd spice it up a bit. He's one of those minotaurs, and I forgot what type they're called. But in Mexico or Spanish or whatever country it's called, I'm mentally retarded, so sue me if I get it wrong. They have the horns similar to what bulls would have, like in the bull running thing. And, where people would use sabers and fight the bull to the death. That type of thing. And, yeah, those guys. That's technically what Tanjiro has become. as Tanjiro notices the Minotaur, this is when the Minotaur notices them going towards his family, these corpses, and the wolves are pretty much just eating the corpse, because the process was long enough that he didn't even recognize the corpses. He recognizes them, but he doesn't see them as family anymore. So he how big he got is actually he's around like 10 foot. But he's a 10-foot tall, pure muscle. Oh, and I'm not even gonna close to sugarcoat that he's fucking big. Big. Now, the wolves notice Tanjiro, and the first thing they do is obviously be intimidated. They're used to facing creatures like bears, wolves, or stuff like that. Even tigers, but no creature has ever seen what Tanjiro is. Tanjiro is a whole new specimen of a monster. And you can tell they have never seen him like this, because the first thing they do as soon as they see them is attempt to run away. But Tanjiro grabs the wolf, and this is actually the alpha of the group. Because due to Tanjiro's world being surrounded by demons, I would say that the wolves would always be moving so that they can avoid so they can avoid other demons. And the first thing you do, as the wolves obviously attempt to help their alpha, they are attacking Tanjiro with everything they got. And he does take damage. Because these wolves in this world are pretty much similar to the ice wolves from Skyrim. Well, the big fucking white wolves that you would commonly see around Dawnstar or the more snowy areas. But Tanjiro pretty much bites into one of the wolves, and completely, utterly, with the strength that he has now gained from the unknown god, just cleanly rips off the head of the wolf that attempted to bite Tanjiro in the neck. Blood splatters all over the snow, and this is when pretty much he starts gorging himself of the meat off of the wolves. Now, bear in mind, these wolves are skinny. They're all technically just bone, which he realizes quickly. In a fit of rage, and he roars into a deep bellow. Something similar that you would hear from your typical horror story. Really, like hearing the clashing of blades and all that. Now, the other thing you would notice is, well, you can't really notice, considering you can't see it, Tanjiro still has the alpha on his hand, and the alpha is trying his best to get out of there. He's trying to bite Izuku and Tanjiro all the fucking time. But this is when he just gets annoyed by it and swings the wolf so hard to a tree that he gets impaled through the mouth and through the head, and the wolves realize that their alpha is defeated. There's no point of sticking around. Tanjiro roars into a intimidating and bellow of a low, and the wolves cut their losses and leave. It's pretty much like the Gigasaurus from fucking Ark versus the Indominus Rex and the fucking Velociraptors. That's technically what happened. But what a horrible way to die. Alright, so you can imagine how fucking painful that must have been. And so all you gotta hear from that is, ouch. Now, this is when Tanjiro goes to his family, what's left of his family, that is, and he gorges on the meat of his family. I already know I'm going to hear comments like, oh, why would you let make Tanjiro do such a thing? It's not me doing it, it's his animal instincts. Remember, he's a minotaur. And if I remember correctly from Greek mythology, minotaurs are not really picky on eating. And I know, I'm a DM, so I would know. Minotaurs are definitely not picky of food. Especially if the food is just right there, just begging to be taken. So yeah. Don't give me that whole, oh, you're a horrible person. Said, you watch my D&Ds, I don't want to hear jack shit. Nah. Yeah. Fucking hell. My mouth wouldn't speak for some reason. Now, Tanjiro pretty much hears rustling in the bushes. And the first thing he sees is his own sister. Now, I already know I'm gonna hear shit about this. So, the first thing that Tanjiro do is filled with rage. Rage of what what his sister attempted to do. Now, his sister is long gone, so there's no point of them even attempting to communicate. And Tanjiro is way goner. So, without hesitation, Tanjiro lunges at his own sister. Now, his sister is now in control. Well, but Tanjiro is not. She has accepted her being a demon and her working with what's his name? I can't remember his fucking name to save my life. Unfortunately, it didn't end well because Tanjiro bites down directly into her throat and just rips the chunks and fucking materials you need to have your voice right off. And pretty much, he grabs what looks like her legs and slams them directly into a tree. He's pretty much using the place as his environment. And to her surprise, the damage is very severe. Tears follow into her eyes, seeing that this is no longer her brother, and she needs to get out of there. Now, the one who turned her into a demon, like I said, I can't remember his fucking name. So don't even try to convince me to remember. If you want to put the name down, fine by me, but I'm just going to butcher the language and you all fucking know it. Right. So let's just get straight to the fires of hell. No. And this is when Midoriya pretty much it... Wait, not Midoriya, fucking hell. Now this is when Tanjiro is about to go at them. And this is when the guy actually goes in and steps in. I thought you said your brother wasn't affected. To be honest, that is still a terrifying thing. I don't think we were able to convince your brother to join our side, I'm afraid. That's kind of a waste, to be honest. Come. This is when the Tanjiro roars into a vicious bellow, which actually surprises because he was giving his death glare directly to Tanjiro. You know, doing his menacing glare like fucking Ace would do in One Piece. But it doesn't do shit. And Tanjiro, this is just food. This man is food. Tanjiro is pure savagery. And before the man could do anything, he bites down directly into the hand of the man and gently just rips it off completely. The sister attempts to save her master, but the first thing she has is her own body being torn to sunder, or by her own brother, just brutally, really ripping and tearing the parts and mauling his sister to the point where there's nothing left but bone. The guy, aka the leader or the king of the demon, if you want to call him that, notices this and decides to cut his losses and retreat. Or, in a pussy mood, run away like a little girl. Well, because that's what this guy is doing. Like, actually, you know what? Hold on. So do I gotta avoid the fucking thing? Might as well figure out what the fuck this guy's name is. Demon Slayer? Demon King. Muzan? That's his name? Wait. Muzan. That's his name. His name is really Muzan. Okay. I'll admit that's a name I was not expecting. Like, next you're gonna tell me that his wife's name is Mulan. Why does he look like a chick? Can someone explain why he has a female version of himself? That would be fantastic, because... Wait. Can she change her gender? Huh. That's not something you actually fucking see. Oh, it's actually canon too. So Muzan is his name. That's gonna be interesting to attempt to remember. Yes, you heard me right. Attempt to remember. Or Muzan. Now I've seen everything. Alright, Muzan pretty much gets out of there. And this is when Muzan, only thing you hear from him is shit, shit, shit. What the hell? I've never seen any demon like that. Now, I know there are some ferals, but I've never seen a form like that before. Is it even from this world? Anyway, this is when pretty much tanjjro bellows and roars over his slain sister and feasts on his corpse. Feasts on her corpse. The meat being chewed up like jerky. Flesh ripping. And bones being crushed by the teeth of the minotaur. This is when tanjjro realizes one thing. He is regenerating the more he eats. With tanjjiro's new eye color being a dull ember blood red with a yellowish sunset in the middle of his eyes. With a pure black fur. Actually, yeah, brown fur, my bad. Sorry, I was speaking through a manga. Now, this is when pretty much Tanjiro gets up and notices another thing: he needs a weapon. Because he knows his fist ain't enough alone. He knows his fist is not going to be enough. So he decides to wander. But, to add insult to injury, he keeps the skull of a wolf, but also keeps the meat off of his sister. Now, here's what's really scary. His sister is still alive. We already know that demons can't really die from being mauled to death from fucking Demon Slayer, so cruelty in its own way, this is his source of meat. Until he bumps into someone else that's actually tastier than her. And not in a sexual way. Get that out of your gutter. And put it in a toilet and flush it. Now, as Izuku walks, he notices the sun coming up. His sister trying to stay in the trees, but pretty much he moves her and notices that her leg starts burning and blistering and boiling as soon as she's in the sunlight. So when he lets go, she enters the shadows. Now, Tanjiro still has an intelligence span of a human, but he doesn't have the sympathy, guilt, or any of that weak, pathetic, like little femboy bullshit that you all like in your fucking porn manga, as in your typical Demon Slayer. No. Oh, quite the opposite, actually. Because in this one, Tanjiro is a hard, cold monster of a man. So pretty much this is when Tanjiro decides to make her wait to make a move. He's not affected by the sunrise. He just watches her like a predator. Or protecting his food. She notices this is no longer the brother she once knew. This is a monster. And she realizes that very quickly. What can she do? She can't move anywhere. She looks to the left to notice that the sun is blocking two locations, and the only other shadowy location is right in front of her brother. She is blocking the sun so she can stay alive. Like a cruel game of cat and mouse. Now you're all probably wondering, where the fuck is the Demon Slayers? We'll get to that in a minute. We're not gonna bump into them yet, just because of that. And so, yeah. So, Tanjiro pretty much waits it out. When nighttime comes, when the sister attempts to run away, Tanjiro bites down on her leg hard enough that the bones snap out of the skin, and let's not say wince, a squeal of pain comes out like a pig trapped into a buzzsaw. Not fun, and not fucked up at all. Well, I say it sarcastically. He eats. This is when he starts noticing a demon coming in his way. Now, this demon you probably will recognize immediately. Okay, let me rephrase that. It's not a demon, it's a person. And I can't remember this bitch's name, that it saved my life. She's this butterfly lady. You know what, I'm just gonna look her ass up. Don't judge me. It's been a while since I fucking did a Demon Slayer thing, so make things easy, but here we go. Oh, this is a mouthful. Hashira? Yes, I am butchering languages, not on purpose. I am literally terrible at these type of names, so don't judge me. Yeah, I gotta look it up on YouTube. Pause break. Okay, I'm not gonna say that fucking name because that's a bitch to say, so I'll just say Kolchu because apparently that's her name. Like, that is actually her name, her last name, Kolchu. Also, makes my fucking job easier. Yeah, Kochu. I know I'm gonna remember that fucking thing. So Kochu notices the Minotaur. Now, in her mind, this is a demon. And just a unique one. She's never seen a demon similar to this. She has never seen a Minotaur at all. And she sees this Minotaur eating a demon. Now, obviously, she's obviously thinking in her head, this is not a demon. Demons don't eat demons. Demons eat humans. So she goes down there, obviously showing her fucking annoying brat smile and her disgusting fucking personality. Big bitch. Now, pretty much, she starts fucking talking, and do not expect me to say ara. That's the only time you're gonna hear this one. And that's because I don't want to say it. It is stupid. Whoever says that needs a punch in the mouth with a crowbar. But anyway, this is when she attempts to say something, but she senses like a warning coming off of tanjjro, like, back off before I kill you. But not in a way of a threatening, but like just a warning, with a calm demeanor around her. But more calm around the Minotaur. The Minotaur is showing a calm but intimidating type of aura around her. Now, she's not usually intimidated. I know Korra is not usually intimidated by this type of BS. Yes, I already know you're going to say that in the comments, but remember, you stupid fuckheads, this is new. This creature in this plane is new. She has never seen a Minotaur. So take your fucking lore and shove it up your ass. Because this isn't canon, so I don't need to explain anything. And so you all can go fuck yourself. So, bye-bye! Now, Kochu pretty much draws her katana, which he notices. But it's useless to him. Why is it useless? Well, he's a big fucking brute. So, he knows this weapon is useless. But, he's not dumb. He notices that Demon Slayers always use this katana. This tiny, pathetic, useless thing to him. So, pretty much, he does one thing and grabs his sister by the leg, attempting to use her as a weapon, which surprises Kochu because obviously the demon looks like she wants her to kill her. She's scared out of her mind. Kochu bluntly recognizes it quickly and knows that look too well. Fear grips Kochu. And fear grips this kiddo. As Kochu attacks, tanjjro attacks as well, with a bellow of a roar so powerful it actually creates a shockwave around Kochu, temporarily stunning her long enough for tanjjro to swing his own sister's head directly to Kochu's skull, hard enough to knock her blade out of her hand. And tanjjro roars once again, and then clicks his tongue right at Kochu. This is obviously annoyance, and then he yawns out of boredom. Kochu pretty much grits her teeth and pretty much gets annoyed with this fucking Minotaur. So she attacks again with the weapon that she has. Unfortunately for her, it does not end well. Now, Tanjiro grabs her by the throat, but before he can do anything, a blade comes at him. And he looks to that direction and blocks it with his own sister's body. It was a blade. A blade that pretty much pierced her skull, and then her body starts doing that disappearing thing. I don't know what the fuck they do. And this is when we see the obvious fucking Sasuke Uchiha ripoff motherfucker. I can't remember his name. I would call him Waterboy. Boy, but for the sake of it, let's say it's not him and say it's fuck. Kocho's sister? Yeah. Kocho's sister. Now, obviously, we hear Kocho saying, "No, sis, run! This is not a monster you can fight." But, obviously, the sister doesn't listen. And soon as she charges in, and Tanjiro just stands there, looking at this creature, as if it's a dog. It's protecting its owner. But to Tanjiro, it means little. He backhands her so hard that her neck does a 360, and then blood spills out of the mouth of the girl and then falls to the ground. Kojo sees this and starts screaming and crying at the same time, as the Minotaur is just annoyed on the crying and all that, and then starts stomping in Kojo's head to shut her up. Again and again and again, blood and brain matter splatter all over the place. Ace, again and again, he stomps and he stomps and he stomps. Almost an annoyance. Why won't you stop crying? He thinks in his head. And he stomps and stomps until there's nothing left, and the crying finally stops. Only thing left is a fucking watery paste of brain matter and blood, along with dust of bone fragments around. The demon, one of the demons that works for Muzu, who, like I said, I'm gonna butcher this name. Hey, notice the brutality of this, and doesn't give. And notice one thing: this Minotaur doesn't give two shits. So, he reports back to Mozu, and Mozu bluntly... This is when pretty much he tells Mozu what happened. Ah, shit. No. Sorry about that. Drop something. So, this creature does not care for anyone. Yes, it apparently has a temper. We could probably use that as our advantage. Shouldn't we be concerned? Yes, normally. But if he doesn't pick a side, well, we can always kill him after he killed the demon hunters. That is true. But with Tanjiro, bro, he just eats the corpse of the sister, pretty much just ripping the flesh out and healing from, well, nothing. He's just hungry. Until a fucking katana comes at him. He looks back and sees a katana piercing his eyeball. Oh, Tanjiro roars in anger or in annoyance to see a man with a pig head. Ed. Inosuke notices the big fucker. And they both start fighting, fist to fist. Yes, the fight continues to the point like that Tanjiro just punches the blades and shatters it completely. Inosuke starts chuckling. And this is when Tanjiro pretty much just punches him hard enough to remove his mask. This is when this is when Tanjiro sees his face and thinking that this is a woman? But before he can think of anything else, he gets headbutted. Hit by Tanjiro, by Inosuke, and so Inosuke, he starts laughing like a psycho. But Tanjiro is not having this amusement. It's actually the opposite. He's getting annoyed. So they just start headbutting each other to the point where one of them is surprisingly alive still. Well, Tanjiro, for some reason, has not killed Inosuke. Except he smiles, knowing there's someone who can actually handle his punches. A worthy opponent, he thought to himself. And a worthy opponent he will have. So he leaves Tanjiro and he gives him the Butterfly Lady's, or Koso's katana, given to him both. And as he leaves, aka as Tanjiro leaves, he knows one thing about something, and that is always be stronger than your enemies. He learns that quickly in this world, that only the strong can survive. And so, that's what he keeps his mindset to. In a tiny little village, he decides to actually get a weapon. And the closest thing to a weapon to him that would be useful is two axes. Now, these axes are typically your typical wood-cutting axes, which are pretty much throwing axes to this big brute. So, pretty much, they're useless to him. He gets annoyed knowing that there's no weapon that's actually big enough for him. So he wanders in the woods, continuing to mind his own business, until he sees some creepy fucking baby spiders. There's with literal baby heads. To him, he is creeped out for the first time in a while, and then just starts stomping on them like a fucking nothing. Just stomp after stomp after stomp. Well, one attempts to bite him, but he just bites back. So he starts using his fist and stomping abilities with his hooves, and just continues and continues. Then this is when he sees an obvious big brawly spider guy. A smile forms around the Minotaur, along with the spider guy, and they both start fighting. The fight gets intimate. These two know strength. They both know power, so they continue fighting. The more they fight, the more the demon just smiles, seeing an opponent finally around his height and his size. The Minotaur and him fight for a full night. When the sun rises, the Minotaur takes this chance, its body tackles him and makes him burn alive, but also at the same time biting his neck so he couldn't leave. The demon bursts into flames and dies quickly. This is when he decides to actually look on where the strings. He notices the strings. So he follows the strings to come across a man sleeping. This man has yellow clothing and looks a lot like a woman as well, to him anyway. And this is when as the man wakes up, he just sees this big scary bull, and immediately you hear, obviously you all know this is Sinosuke, so Sinosuke goes, "Ah! Giant bull monster!" He yells at the top of his lung. and attempts to run away. But tanjjro just grabs him by the hand. And grabs him directly by the fucking shoulder. And he's like, no, leave me alone. And somehow he releases his grip, which surprises tanjjro, and he just scales up a tree. The first thing that tanjjro's mind, because he can't speak anymore, is, how the fuck did he get up there? So he does the one smart thing he does, especially since he's hungry. He starts punching the tree to get him down from there. It doesn't work. He starts shaking the tree. It doesn't work. Is this thing a monkey he's thinking? Or is this a human? So he just says fuck it and starts pushing the tree down with all his strength, and Inosuke saying, hey, stop it! Yeah! And this is when Inosuke throws a fucking acorn at its head. Tanjjro just looks at him like, really? I couldn't think of a fucking other idea to get you to stop. And he just pushes it down anyway. And crash! You hear a crash echoing through the woods. And this is when tanjjro just walks towards him, and obviously Inosuke is wondering if this is the end. But he hears a familiar voice. Inosuke? Yes, you hear a roar, and this is when the Minotaur smiles, and Inosuke and the Minotaur attack each other again. A fight worthy. A fight finally worth his time. And a true warrior and not a coward. In his mindset, that is. Inosuke is just thinking, I want bacon! I want some steaks! I fucked up on that in the script. Yep, I meant to say steak, not bacon. So the two start fighting, and this is when Inosuke defeats no one. He gets his ass kicked again by the Minotaur. I swear, these guys are getting so easily beat, they're getting their ass kicked by a big bull. It's kind of embarrassing. Especially for them. But I don't care. This is when Inosuke and the others now is saved by a man who sets the Minotaur on fire, and now he just jumps in the water to put out the flames. Hi there. Who are you? There's no time to explain. Let's get out of here. There. And in case you're wondering, it's the guy with the big bushy fucking eyebrows and is the guy that always fucking smiles. Even I can't fucking remember his name. Anyway, pause break. My throat hurts. Alright, I'm back. This is when fucking Zenitsu, who is now just getting the fuck out of there because he doesn't want to deal with the fucking scary monster anymore. Or along with the others who actually managed to save him, tanjjro comes out of the water and notices a female walking towards him. Before she could say a damn word, he has her head bitten off. Tanjjro bites her head off and starts gorging himself into the meat so he can heal. His fur starts growing back and pretty much becomes normal again. And without him, with the blink side of his eye, side of his ear, he hears,
such carnage, such bloodlust. You've been doing it all with your fists. That is not good. You need a weapon and armor.
And so an axe was summoned by fires of the deepest well, not hell, but somewhere, along with armor that is now on him. And the axe is a fucking cool one.
Use it well, champion.
As he picks up the axe, the Minotaur lets out a roar. Pleased that he finally has a weapon worthy of his body. And mindset. This is when pretty much now he has balls. Bigger than ever. Get that image out of your head. This is when pretty much Tanjiro walks into a city. You heard me right? He finally walks into a city, and everyone is fucking terrified of this big brute for good reason. It's a big, scary, well, not talking, but a big brute of a man. Now, Tanjiro has noticed the coins in his pouch, and he does not remember collecting any of these. So pretty much he just looks at the meat aisle. He licks his chops at the pork chop and the rib aisle along with the steak. And before you all start saying cannibalism, remember, minotaurs aren't picky. Okay, so yeah, this is when Tanjiro goes towards the meat aisle. Now, the woman is obviously terrified and wondering if she's going to be killed or eaten. But he just flunks the cold coins and takes the meat, which she knows takes more than just 30 gold, or whatever money that these people use. But she's not going to say that to a 12-foot tall old minotaur that literally just wants some food. So he eats all the meat. And the next thing you know, he hears a familiar voice, Inosuke. He gets there with excitement in his eyes, to fight his rival until he sees him fight some big, heavy, mental thingy. Calling it the King of the Forest, which pisses off Inosuke immediately, because the King of the Forest is Inosuke, not some big hunk of metal. The creature, this mysterious metal creature, roars its steam, and steam comes out of its top of its head. Tanjiro roars directly right back at it. Everyone sees the Minotaur, and the first thing he knows Zenitsu is thinking is, uh-oh, it's just a train, you idiots! He starts charging at the train, and let's just say, Inosuke is seeing two powerful creatures fighting it out, gulping at each other to the death. A train the false King of the Forest versus the real King of the Forest. And obviously the train has some dents, and it starts pretty much just blowing off more steam. The creature doesn't steam anymore, and this is when Tanjiro just roars in victory, claiming to be the now King of the Forest. Inosuke pumped to fight him, but Zenitsu stops him and calls him a fucking moron, telling him we can't fight this big brute. Fuck you! I want to fight him! You idiot! We'll be slaughtered! He only has his fists! Inosuke, have you not noticed the axe on his back? Oh. Makes it more fun then. You fucking baka. Come here! Try it! Anyway, this is when they get on the thing, and Inosuke being excited to ride this thing. While Zenitsu is just trying his best to make sure this bastard doesn't fucking can get lost in the damn thing. While fucking bushy eyebrows, which you already know who I'm talking about, so don't even try to fucking say it in the comments. Even I know I'm not gonna fucking unfuck that name. So just stick with me and just accept the fact that I'm just gonna call them bushy eyebrows. Especially for characters I don't know the name of, or don't remember and care not to remember. Or don't like it? Well, you shouldn't have subscribed to my channel. Now, this is when pretty much Inosuke looks outside to see the Minotaur. Hey, he's here! Let's fight! What do you mean, who's here? He's here. Ah! Not him again! Does he not give up? Are you two like fucking lovers or something? Inosuke bluntly says, Dude, he's 12 foot. I don't think my ass can even handle that cock. But I'm willing to take that challenge. Don't you fucking dare. Here, I am not letting you die because you are curious if you can survive a dick. So don't you dare. You're no fun. What do you mean I'm no fun? I prefer to be alive. Boring. Now, where was I? Oh, yeah. This is when fucking... And you hear him say, now, is there a way to get him off our backs? I don't think there's a way, my friend. Maybe if you mate with him, it'll work. I'm not mating with a fucking bull. I'm straight. I was talking to Inosuke. I'll take the challenge. Inosuke, if you die, I'm going to laugh. You know that, right? Right? So? Oh, is it worth it to be a mate? No, to see how long I can last. You fucking get country people. Well, anyway, this is when Inosuke notices Tanjiro's gone. Huh? The fuck? Where'd he go? And wait, why do they sleep here? Yes, this is when the demon notices and is starting to pretty much attempt to go into the dreams of all these people, but only thing she finds is Tanjiro just looking down at her. Or him, I don't know who the fuck this demon is. All I know is he's the demon that makes people fall asleep. This is when Tanjiro opens his mind. This is when Tanjiro wakes up immediately because somehow he managed to sleep on top of the fucking game. Well, he managed to sleep on top of the fucking monster. I'm actually not joking. He actually managed to sleep on top of the train. So, as soon as he wakes up from the train, he wakes up pissed because he was looking for a fight. He wasn't looking for something to take a fucking beauty nap. So he goes down there, smashes his way in, and notices one thing, and that is the fucking thing. Well, he notices this. What is this, you might be wondering? Well, obviously he notices the fucking thing. The demon, I mean. He notices the fucking demon. And without hesitation, he bites into the guy's head. Now, the guy doesn't wake up. And this is when he wakes up, actually, noticing his death, which is fucking hilarious to him, to the warrior, to the minotaur, to see the death of a demon that dared get in its way. This is when he hears, my, aren't we a brutal old man? When I heard there was a demon, a creature that actually kills both humans and demons, I thought it was a bluff. But here you are. This is when tanjjro does not say a word because he can't. He can no longer speak. Or he doesn't remember, it is. So he just stares at them menacingly. This is when he sees a man with weird eyes and paint, or whatever you call it. He thinks it's paint all over the man. He does not know what this is. He doesn't know who this is. All he knows is it's weird. That's all he knows. It's a weird person. It's some weird guy. He doesn't know the rest. So he's obviously confused on, what the fuck is this bastard? Who is this? So, pretty much, this is when the demon and him get into a stance. Now, this is when tanjjro, without hesitation, attacks by swinging his weapon. Both of these opponents are pretty much fighting, but this guy is fighting with his fist. In his mind, this man is a fool to fight with his fist. And without hesitation, he uses his technique to destroy the man's arms. He literally just slices it off. If you were expecting some fucking badass scene, then I'm afraid you're gonna be disappointed. This is when tanjjro pretty much bites down on the man's neck, and due to the fact he only has one arm, he can't really stop much of the bites. Alright, so the man continues pressing his full bite force on the neck of the creature, of the demon. After that, the creature's head completely gets chomped off, and only thing you hear is just him eating the fucking corpse. So yeah, that's what's left of the painted guy. And immediately, this is when Inosuke and him decide to get to the demon location. Once they do get to the demon location, immediately tanjjro sees the other demon, other people. And obviously he's curious on how the fuck is this guy even walking in the sunlight. Even fucking other people are wondering about this creature. Sure. So immediately, this is going abso-fucking-lutely nowhere. To him, anyway. It's going nowhere. We're not dealing with your typical monster, we're dealing with a fucking brute. At least in his mind he's dealing with a brute. But no. This is when pretty much Inosuke and tanjjro Bro, along with fucking Zenitsu, are just minding their own business, because Tanjiro pretty much continues fighting against the Minotaur, while the Minotaur is fighting with Inosuke, while Zenitsu is just watching them, making sure this fight doesn't get too brutal. So he pretty much became more responsible ever since Tanjiro popped up. And he keeps people who want to kill the certain Minotaur, because rumors spread that this bastard has brutally killed a certain 2 butterfly people. But so Inosuke just gives him this look like, if you want to fucking die, go right ahead. I ain't picking up your fucking what's left of your corpse, you fucking idiots. He doesn't even care about getting a woman. All he cares about is just making sure that no one dies from the Minotaur. So pretty much, after that, this is when Inosuke says, hey, you should be a demon hunter like us. He tilts his head, wondering what the fuck is that. Do you not know what a demon hunter is? Tanjiro? What? Think about it. Look how big he is. You really think he's gonna know what that is? I don't even think he's from this world. What makes you say that? Do you know any demons that have cows for heads? No. See? Maybe we can talk to someone here? Maybe they know what it is? And they talk to the demon and the other people, and unfortunately, none of them knows what Tanjiro is. The only one that knows what Tanjiro is the man that actually blessed him with his powers. But Inosuke doesn't care. He has a friend. Can we keep him? Why are you asking me for permission? I'm not the one. For fuck's sake. Fine, but if he murders people, it's your responsibility. Okay. Fucking hell. Oh, this is gonna be some bodies to explain to someone. So, how do I explain this to someone who's... Well, this is going to be interesting to explain. So, big guy, do you have a name? Silent. Right, I forget. You mostly roar, you don't speak. Wait, what are you eating? This is when you just hear fucking Tanjiro just go. And this is when a butterfly thing comes out, and it answers the question on what happened to 2 certain people. Inosuke and Tanjiro just look. Inosuke and Zenitsu looks like Tanjiro, like, really? He raised an eyebrow, like, what did I do? Big guy, how you have not died is beyond me. Okay, big guy. Apparently some important people want to talk to you. Crap. This is when Tanjiro enters to see the blind man. My, aren't we a colorful specimen? In case you're wondering who I'm talking about the guy who lost his sight. I thought I would never sense your kind's presence, ever. I never even thought minotaurs were still around. I know who's your god. I have a deal for you, if you're willing to listen. You help us slay demons. In return, you get to eat them. And we'll make sure you have the best meat that you can ever dream of. The best fights that you could ever care for. And you can fight as much as you want. Tanjjro thinks on this. Tanjjro thinks on this. And this is when he just has a smile on his face. An evil, gritty smile. I am glad that we can come to an arrangement. However, if you eat any of the demon slayers, our deal will be broken and you will be hunted down. I know that's not a threat, but you and I both know that minotaurs may be strong, but they cannot take on two things at once. So choose your next moves wisely in the future. You'll be traveling with Tanjjro and Inosuke. You're already used to seeing them. Well, Zenitsu and Zenitsu and Inosuke, my apologies. You've already gotten used to seeing them, have you not? Good. I'll let them know that you'll be traveling with them from now on. With Inosuke and Zenitsu, you want us to babysit the Minotaur. More like keep an eye on him. That's the same thing as babysit. Babysitting is babysitting a child. You are taking care of a Minotaur. What's a Minotaur? The big guy that you've been fighting. Wait. That big guy was a Minotaur? Yes. Wait, what's a Minotaur? A Minotaur is pretty much strength incarnate. And that's not an exaggeration. It is strength incarnate. Huh. Then what happened to all of them? They all disappeared. No one knows where they went. And no one will know because no one knows how to speak. Wait. Are you saying this guy can't speak? I am saying that he will be a threat if you show a threat. That's why I'm letting you two go with him. He's already used to your scent. He's also used to you. So, him traveling with you wouldn't be a bad thing. It'd just be kind of surprising. As I said, Minotaurs are thought to be disappeared or dead. So, okay? And since he's used to us, we can keep him? Yes, you can keep him. Does he have a name? He didn't say his name. When Minotaurs are created, they pretty much forget their life. So he has amnesia. I didn't say that. Their rage makes sure that they don't remember anything of their past. Yes? Oh, thank you. So they're always like this? Only the powerful ones.
this one's not powerful? Oh, no, I didn't say that.
He's definitely strong enough to kill us all if he wanted to. Oh, perhaps even kill the Demon King. That doesn't sound bad. If they're a worthy opponent, that is. This one is obviously blessed by the Minotaur god.
Wait, gods are real?
My friend, there are demons. Of course gods exist. I just never thought he would choose one so interestingly. Normally, you would need to be a Minotaur to get the god of Minotaurs notice. An awkward silence fills the room.
Sir?
My apologies. I'm just in my own little world.
That's obvious.
Is it truly? I guess I'm just not used to this. Anyway, you two should be getting going now. We don't want you two to be late.
Oh yeah. Wait. What about the Demon Lord?
I highly doubt that he'll do anything now. If a Minotaur is back, the demons will be more focused on making sure they're not hunted.
What do you mean?
The main diet of Minotaurs are demons and humans. That's why I said keep an eye on him.
Go.
Have fun, you two.
Why is he so calm about this?
And that's it. You're probably, and I already know you're going to ask, but wait a minute, what about the Demon King?
Well, he's hiding.
He got his ass kicked by him, so you really think that the demons are going to follow him after that little fight? So, yeah, they left him for dead. So, yeah. That was it. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. This has been Uncle Dylan. Goodbye.